Hi everyone, so I'm sure like me, you can't get out on the course right now, you're probably missing it, so I've decided I'm going to bring the course inside. I'm in a flat, so if I can make it work, then you should be able to. If you've got outdoor space and things like that, it might even be a bit easier. The main things you'll need is just a wedge, whether it's sand wedge, pitching wedge. This is my 58 degree. And a putter. So those are the things you will need. You will also need something light, but it doesn't matter if you haven't got them. A chipping net and a putting mat or hole. But don't worry if you haven't got those things. I'll give you a few ideas. We can improvise, just make do with what we've got. So, onto the game. I've got a chipping net set up. You can see that there, about 5 yards away from my spot here, which I'll show you in a minute. Again, if you haven't got a chipping net, don't worry. You could use a bucket or even just put a towel on the floor as like a landing spot to hit. You can just improvise with that. So I'm using these soft balls, which if you've been watching me on Instagram, you might have seen before. It's actually a hard golf ball inside, like the core, but outside's got a softer layer on it, so it's a bit better when you've got windows and things around, less chance of damaging it. If you haven't got something like this, don't worry, you could use a normal golf ball if you're outside, even better. You could use a tennis ball, if you haven't got anything else, or airflow balls, the little plastic things. Just use whatever, it's only a bit of fun as well, but something to practice with. If you're really struggling, then maybe use a rolled up pair of socks or something like that. After that, you'll need a putting mat or putting hole. So I've got this here that I'm using from Decathlon, this hole on a laminate flooring, and that's because the balls that I showed you, these things are made to roll on the laminate flooring a bit more like an actual ball. So if this is any good as an example, probably not the best example, I rolled it a bit hard, but basically unlike a golf ball that'll just keep going off in any direction on this floor, it just works a bit better. But if you've got a golf mat, which I've got one as well, the put out mats and stuff as well, they're really good. Something like that, you can use that. If you haven't got a mat or hole like this with these balls, don't worry, just use, if you've got some carpet and a cup or anything that you can hit as a target. Hopefully you should have got a cup in the house. Just use carpet, roll the ball into the cup. Simple. It doesn't really matter, you're only competing against yourself with this and it's a bit of fun. Now you're all set up, we're on to the game. So like on the course, your approach shots probably determine how close you are to the hole, particularly the short game obviously. If you do a good little chip shot around the green or a longer approach shot, you're going to be close to the hole, right? So this is what's going to happen with the game as well. So you have 3 approach shots to get it into the target. So for me here, you can see it's the green square. For you, this might be a bucket or the towel like I used as an example. For every ball you get in, you'll move 3 feet closer to the hole. So if I get one in that target out of these 3, I'll move to 9 feet. I've got some targets on the ground here, which I'll show you in a minute. If I get 2 in, I move to 6 feet. If I get all 3 in, I only leave myself with a 3-foot putt. So that's where it's trying to be a little bit similar to the course, rewarding you for your better shots. So this is where you'll make your points. So if you got all 3 in, you're going to start from 3 feet. Obviously, this is the money shot. So I've got a Bellagio chip there. Nice bit of memorabilia here. 6 feet with my Muirfield badge. Got to keep it golf related. The back of this mat, so this is what I'm chipping from. That's my 9 feet. And finally, 12 feet, I've got my club cleaner, because obviously if I haven't got any in, it must be down to the club it can't be my fault. So, to get a point, you have to go from the position that's been determined from your chipping. So, I'm assuming here I got 2 in out of the 3, so I'm at 6 feet. All I have to do to get a point is get the ball in the hole, out of 3. Oh, missed it, so no points. Great. But you get 3 attempts, so a bit like on the course, you might have messed up with your chipping, but you can still make points if you're good at putting. So you might be at the 12 feet and get all 3 in, and that's 3 points. After that, that's 1 hole. So the chipping and then putting is 1 hole, maximum of 3 points. One thing I do want to add is if you're finding it a little bit easy, you can make things harder. So even with my target, if I really wanted to make it hard, I can aim for just a part of the target, say the green edging or something like that. Or if you're using a towel, obviously make that smaller. If you've got the distance, move further away. So try and do the same distances though, so you're comparing yourself. You can also use different clubs, so if you want to use a pitching wedge or your sand wedge, whatever you want. So you can make it a little bit harder as well if you're finding it a bit too easy. Okay, so I'm going to try and give you a little example now, in case you didn't get anything that I've said before. This might explain it a bit easier, just seeing me do it. No pressure. This is what we need though, some pressure back. Alright, here we go. Oh, missed it right. Still nervous on these cameras. Right, here we go. This is the one. Way! Got 1 in. So, the closest I can get now is 6 feet, so I missed 1. I'm now at least at 9 feet. Let's see if I can get this. Yes! So I'm going from 6 feet now. So, grab my putter. These balls. So I've got 3 balls now from 6 feet. See if I can make these. Here we go, number 1. Yes. So that's 1 point. Oh, missed it. Still just 1. 2. So 2 points, and that would be 1 hole. So you can play this for, say, however many holes you want, 5 holes, which 5 times 3 maximum points, that's 15. So you can get a maximum of 15 points if you played 5 holes. Obviously 9, 27 if you play 9 holes, I think that's right. And maybe just do the same amount so you can compare yourself. But also what I was going to do, if anyone wants a game, I'm going to do an Instagram live or Facebook live, and we'll do a little competition if anyone wants to join in, just so we can kind of play together. Finally, what I would say is one of the best things is the halfway house is absolutely brilliant. Cheers.